that young compression test on that Gy6, boy. She's fucked.
It'll just come off.
I have to disconnect all of these from the engine. And these are all the colors. And then just the ground. Alright, we got the Gy6 Chinese motor out now. Bare shell, pretty much. We're gonna go ahead and rebuild that and see what happens, I guess. Alright, so we have to make sure this motor is at top dead center, which it should be right now. But the easiest way to know is kind of just stick a little screwdriver or something in there and find the piston all the way up at the top. And I guess it has to be on the exhaust stroke. So this is kind of what it looks like here. This hole is identifying that being on the exhaust stroke. So I think it's at top dead center. And yeah, there's a mark. I don't know if I can really see it on camera. Yeah, right here. That lines up with this fin. That puts it at top dead center too. So let's take it apart then. Alright, so just remember too that the cam on the exhaust side is going up. And on this side for the intake, it's going down. Don't forget that. Alright, so we tore off the first half here. Someone RTV'd the shit out of this thing. That's not correct. But this piston's toast, man. They probably put the rings in wrong too. Alright, so after taking everything out, got the little pins out there, got the wrist pin out, got the piston out. The guy that tried to rebuild this motor very poorly, yeah, that's terrible, and he didn't even put a gasket there, so yeah, this motor was hurt, dude. Just gotta go ahead and get this last little ring in here, and then we can go ahead and push the cylinder down, feed the chain further through, get the tensioner on, and get the other portion of the head on, valve cover on, and this thing should realistically be able to run. Maybe I have to adjust the valves a little bit, but we'll see what happens. So the bottom of the head is fully installed with the cylinder and the piston rings in place. So now we can get to the harder portion of the whole job, is doing this. So I got valve stem seals for the valves. So I might as well do those, probably. This does look like a new head though, so maybe they've been done. I'm not really too sure, but I don't know. It could just be better safe than sorry to just replace them. So I might just do that. I have a new intake for it, so yep, we're just gonna get this thing all nice and good. I'm gonna go ahead and get this whole thing back assembled, and when we get to the timing portion, it should be back the same, just in reverse. Cleaned up the head of all the gasket stuff the guy smeared on there. Now we're gonna go ahead and throw on our little intake manifold. So with that little gasket right there that goes here, the guy did not put a gasket there at all, so that is very terrible for the motor. You want to put this paper gasket in between here, and then this on the other side has an O-ring facing up, and then you have another little O-ring, and you know, they all need to correlate. So you'll have the paper gasket down, and underneath here you have a little O-ring there that goes down, flat part with no O-ring, and then off of the actual intake there is an O-ring there that sits flat on there. And then you go ahead and bolt that down with those two 10 mils. And so I have the other portion of the head on now. What you kind of have to do to get the dowels to sit in place is kind of mack it with a screwdriver a little bit. I was just using the back end of my flathead, man. Just kind of tap it in place. And it'll go. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is adjusting the valve lash. You have a 9mm here, and you can just grab this with a pliers. So in between here, I'm doing the exhaust side here. You need to get this feeler gauge in between here and make sure it is as tight as possible, but you can still barely slip this back out of there. The intake side is 0.6 and the exhaust side is the 0.8. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is done. We have it in the correct timing that it was. I'm not sure 100% if that was correct from the dude before me, but I'm hoping. And the rest of it is put back together. Carbs on, new intake manifolds on, and yeah, let's throw this thing back together. Just went ahead and checked for compression now. We got over 100 here. We got about probably 110 or 115 or so. So that's awesome. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Let's get this thing rolling. And it's all put back together. It is about 8 o'clock. And we're finally gonna see if this thing starts. The compression's good, so we shouldn't have any issues. We have fuel, we have spark, so let's get it. Start her up. Alright, so I got it started. Seems to be acting real good. I'm gonna go ahead and get that idle perfect. Let's take it for a little spin. Feels great so far. Woo! She's torquey. See how she does around the block. Celebratory burnout. So I still have no air filter on this thing, and it still wants to die, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw the air filter on and see how it acts. Alright, so now that it is running, I am going ahead and slowly trying to figure out the headlight and taillight situation, but aside from that as well, I'm gonna go ahead and replace these grips. I have some nice new ones that came with the carb kit, so I'm gonna put those on real quick. Kind of just gotta slide these off by hand. You can kind of hit them from the side here with something, but this one came off kind of nice. All right, so the old throttle cable was stuck in this thing because the screw wouldn't come out, but I have a brand new metal one there. That one should hold up and look a little nicer there. This thing was kind of already cracked before too, so gotta get rid of this thing. Another day, more progress on V2 Aero. I went ahead and welded a little leg here because the previous owners cut that off for the kickstand. So I went ahead and threw the kickstand back on, welded that on. I had an extra spring and now it works great. That's better than leaning it up against trees and poles and curbs and such. Got the new case.
Cinnamon.
All right, so I'm having a little bit of an issue with this tank because it's an 85. I tried ordering the correct petcock for the tank, but I cannot get it. I don't know why, but whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and get this to the 5/8 thread. I have a little bung that I had laying around, so I'm just gonna slip it over this, weld it on, and throw the other petcock on, because I'm sick of trying to find it. While we're at it, we're gonna go ahead and scuff up this tank and make it a little nicer. So here's the bung. I have the tank cleaned out. Just gotta go ahead and slip this over, and then the new petcock should fit directly onto that after I weld this in. All right, so my welder just kind of ran out of wire, but we have half of the bung welded on, and we have the new petcock here. It'll screw right on, so that way we can use this one and never have to look for that finer pitched threaded one ever again. All right, so we got the bung welded, and I JB welded over it just in case if there is any leaks. But now we have the newer style petcock on here with the bigger style 5/8 threads, and I shouldn't have to have a problem trying to find that other one anymore. All right, man, so we got the junk scoot at the Thorntons. We're gonna go ahead and throw some 92 in here because this motor recommends 91. So we'll give her the good juice. She's running real good right now. Thing's pretty powerful. You can hear it in her tone, man. Yeah, she likes to have some gas at all times, but I probably have no gas left in there, so let's fill it up. All right, and lo and behold, no freaking surprise at all. The tank is now leaking from all around the entire thing at the seams. So yeah, I'm just gonna lather JB weld all over this tank, and if that doesn't work, then we're just gonna get a new tank. I'm not gonna mess around with this. It's too much of a hassle, so yeah, let's kind of figure this out. All right, so after yesterday with the gas tank leaking about everywhere around the entire tank, I went ahead and JB welded the entire thing, and now that'll cure for about 6 hours, and hopefully we won't leak gas anymore. Gangster. All right, so while I'm waiting for the gas tank to repair itself with the JB weld, I'm gonna go ahead and try and replace this shock because I just kind of randomly had this one laying around. Looks nicer. It should lift the rear end a little bit. Maybe make it look nicer, maybe not. We'll see, but we'll try it. All right, so I got the old one off and the new one on here, and it does fit that back tire quite nice. Kind of gives the scooter a little more of a lean this way, but I don't know, it's kind of cool. Maybe I'll eventually move the little bolt they put there to like towards the middle, maybe. Make it a little bit lower and more diagonal, but we'll see how it rides like this, to be honest.